Welcome to Guitar Nutrition. I'm Matt. Let's talk about the practice continuum. Now, this is an idea that I came up with that kind of refers to how we progress on the guitar. On one end, we prioritize fun. And on the other end, we prioritize progressing fast. All of us are somewhere along this line when it comes to our practice and how we approach the guitar. And this matters because if we think that we are here on the fast side of the continuum, where we want to progress really quickly and do the things that will allow us to do that, if we think we're here, but actually we should be over here, then we're going to get really frustrated and our practice isn't going to go very well and we're not going to progress. Now, there's no right or wrong point along this continuum. It doesn't matter whether we're here or whether we're here. What matters is that we're honest with ourselves about where we are on the continuum and that we practice accordingly. So, what is the difference between fun down this side and fast over here? Well, if we're playing down the fun end, then we only do what we enjoy. We don't want to work hard at all when it comes to practice. We always want things to be easy. We're not going to do any challenging tasks or worry about learning technique too much or anything like that. We're just going to go with what comes easily as we practice. Now, when we practice in this way, our progress is typically quite slow because we aren't doing the things that are actively going to make us better. It's like showing up to the gym and just, picking up one weight today because, that's what you felt like. And then the next day, maybe you want to use this machine over here. There's no structure to it. You're not specifically working on anything. You're just there to have a bit of fun. It's fine. You are going to get better, but you're not going to get better in the same way that you would if you applied things a little more intentionally, which is what happens as we move down this side of the continuum. Now, down the fast side of the continuum, where we progress as fast as possible, we are intense and disciplined with our practice. We're only concerned about being as effective as we possibly can with our practice. We focus on difficult techniques and skills that push our ability to the limit. And we practice even when we don't want to. We get things done and we do it in such a way that maximizes the speed at which we are able to progress. Now, this isn't always fun. In fact, a lot of the time it's not fun. A lot of the time it can feel like work rather than play and enjoyment. And when you're down this end of the continuum, unless you are very motivated and very intentional about what it is that you're trying to do, like burnout is a real thing with it, where you don't want to play guitar anymore because it sucks, to be quite frank. You're not having fun. So those are the two extremes of the continuum. You've got fun down here when your entire focus is on enjoyment in the moment and you couldn't care less about your progress. You are going to progress, but that's secondary. Then over here, you've got progressing as fast as possible, which is not very fun most of the time in terms of how we have to approach that practice. Well, it can be fun, but fun is not the priority. Most people are going to fall somewhere in the middle of this continuum. Now, where you fall on this continuum is going to be affected by a few things. What are your goals as a guitar player? Are you working towards a specific performance? Are you trying to record something so you got to get it perfect? Are you working towards an exam? Or are you just doing it as an enjoyable hobby after work? What's going on in your life? Do you have a lot of time to practice? I had a student once who just had a baby, and that does not leave you with a lot of time to practice. So I said to him, I was like, look, don't even worry about practice. Focus on the kid. For him, right down here at the fun side of things is where his playing was at that point in time. But then I've had other students who say they want to be here on the fast side of the continuum. They say that I want to get as good as I possibly can, as quickly as possible. Now, I tell these students, I say to them, if you want to do that, and you've got this much time to practice, then what I will do is give you a practice schedule that will help you achieve this goal based on the amount of time that you've got to practice. But they weren't being honest with themselves. They didn't want to be down here at this extreme end of the continuum. In reality, they actually probably wanted to be down here a little bit more, kind of in the middle, but towards the progressing fast side, but in the middle. That's where they wanted to be, actually, if they were being honest with themselves. Only they kept saying, no, I want to be here. And I'm saying, I don't think you do want to be here, but okay, if you say you want to be here, then you should practice these things and do it in this way. And inevitably, they got burnt out. Practice wasn't fun. They weren't enjoying it. They didn't want to do the things that I told them that they needed to do if they wanted to get as good as possible, as quickly as possible, because they weren't having fun with it. And so we inevitably end up adjusting what they're practicing and how they're practicing. So there is a bit more fun. It is down on this side of the continuum a little bit more. The key takeaway here is it doesn't matter where you are on this continuum. There's not a right place and a wrong place. What matters is that you're honest with yourself about where you actually want to be. You can't just think, oh, yeah, it'd be nice to be as good as possible, as fast as possible. Because everyone would say that. If it was possible to get as good as possible, as fast as possible, or having as much fun as possible, then everyone would do that. But that's not how it works. The sacrifice and the work required to get stupidly good, stupidly fast is hard, really hard. Some people want to do that. Most people don't. Most people are down here. So you got to be honest with yourself about where you are in the continuum. But in saying that, I can't stress this part enough. There is not a right or wrong place along the continuum. If you just want to focus on having fun, that doesn't mean that people on this side are better than you or are more valid guitar players or anything like that. When you're honest with yourself about where you are, then you can structure your practice and approach your playing in such a way that will allow you to progress as effectively as possible and as quickly as possible at whatever point you want to be at along this continuum. And also, remember, it doesn't have to be the same all the time. You don't have to be here and stay here forever and that's just you. There can be seasons in your playing as a guitarist where actually, you got a bit more time and a bit more focus and a bit more motivation. So you want to be here for a while. But then life gets busy. There's stuff happening at work. You have a kid. You've got a deadline. And so you kind of just shift back to having a bit more fun with the instrument because during your guitar playing time, you don't want to have to engage your brain so much. You just want to enjoy yourself. That's fine as well. Let me know in the comments where you fall along this continuum. And let me know, do you want some help with practice plans and that kind of thing? Because I'm going to be a lot more consistent with content this year. Lots of content. So I want to know what to make content about. If you've got some ideas, let me know in the comments. Go play some guitar, and I'll see you next time.